Alright, welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with this video. I just want to make sure. Oh, there we go. Hello everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started with this video. I just want to make sure the sound was up. So let's get started. So this particular lesson is modeling with quadratic functions. As you notice, the first example they have you go through is can you tell which ones are parabolas and which ones aren't? So you should be able to do that. Cross out the ones that aren't. And then our vocabulary that we're looking for is modeling. It's a way of using math to describe a real-world situation. There's a definition, there's examples, so you can read through that yourself. And then the next part is they're having you use the vocabulary. So what they're having to do is they're giving you a scenario and you have to pick out which model goes which. So give that a try, and if you need answers to that, I can show you those in class. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next page. Now, when I went through this, they have you going through and solving a system of equations and all of that. I found a much easier way to do it using the calculator, and so I'm going to show you how to do that. And I tested it, and so far it works with everything, with every example that they have. So basically, they want the equation of the parabola that goes through these 3 points, okay? So they have you substitute them in, and then you're going to solve a system. So 3 equations, basically 2 unknowns. Again, I just found it easier to do it with the calculator. So the first thing I'm going to show you with, this is on the TI. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Stat menu, and you want to edit, and you want to enter them in the list. So I'm going to go back real quick. So here, the ordered pairs are 0, 0, 1, -2, and -1, -4. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. So I'm going to start with the first list. So the first list is going to be my x coordinates. X coordinates of the ordered pairs. So 0, 1, and then -1. I'm going to use the keypad for that one, just so it shows up right. Okay, and then I want to arrow over, and then I'm going to put in the y coordinates, which are 0, and then -2, and then -4. And we've kind of already done this before, except you haven't done it with a quadratic. So once you do that, you have the ordered pairs in. My first thing, I'll be honest, is I graphed it. Let me make sure that I'm on a standard window. So on a TI, you see it's a Z standard, so it's Zoom 6. And then I'm going to tell it to graph. And why is it not graphing? Because guess what? My stat plot's not on. So I'm going to tell it to go on, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to tell it to graph. Okay, and I think that's what it's looking like. Okay, so I'm now going to go to my stat menu, and on a TI I'm going to go over to calculator. I'll show people on a Casio in just a minute. And we've been doing linear, but this time we're doing quadratics because this is a quadratic chapter. So we're going to do quadratic regression, which is F5. Okay, so I'm using list 1, list 2, yeah. Okay, and so, whoa. Okay, so notice it's in standard form. There is my A, B, and C. Okay, so, and that's what I wanted. And one of the things I noticed is when I went through and did it, it worked just fine. Okay, so there's my equation. So I'm going to go back to this screen, and I'm going to write in the equation here. And then if you want to make sure that you've got it right, and I actually did this, I actually graphed it. There we go. Okay, so then we said that A was -3, and that B was 1, and C was 0. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to the TI real quick. And we are going to go to y equals, and we're going to plot that. So we had -3x squared, and then we're going to do +1 x. So just plus 1x or just plus x. I normally just do x. And then we're going to do plus 0, but you don't have to do plus 0, but if you wanted to, that's fine. Okay, and then let's tell it to graph. And it's thinking. Notice it's hitting my points exactly. Okay, so that I thought was so much easier to get the writing equation because I just used my stat menu. Now, if you're on a Casio, we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go to our stat menu, and let's do that. I'm going to turn the keylog off. Trying to see if I could. Okay, well, I don't want that. Okay, so we're going to put in the same numbers. So again, it's 0, and then 1, and then -1, and then we're going to go over, and we're going to put in 0 again, and this time we're going to put in -2, and then we're going to put in -4, and then I told it to graph, so I'm going to tell it to graph 1. There it is. Let's put this on a standard window as well. Keep in mind, I do a lot of stuff, so sometimes it doesn't stay on that. Okay, so now here it is. Okay, what is my window on? It probably has to do with what else I have said. Okay, so now just tell it to calculate, and then here you guys are going to hit x squared, so it's going to be F4. And then again, there it is. So what I did, and I like this on the Casio, I told it to copy, so it did. I execute, and then I'm going to tell it to draw. And then it drew it. So you see it's exactly what I need it to be. Okay, so I found that one so easy, and so you just need to try it. So now let's going back to this one. You can play it again, do the exact same thing. Okay. Now this one is a thrown ball. It's modeled by the table, so we're going to enter the table. We're going to get the equation, and then they want you to answer equation. And we'll talk about that as a group in class because I think it'll make the video too long if we don't. But what you want to do is you want to put in, again, these ordered pairs, and you want to generate the equation. And I'm going to go ahead and put the A, B, and C on here for you. That way you can check it against what you've done. So that way you go ahead and try it. Because you guys already know how to create this, so this way the video doesn't have to be really long. Okay. So when I did it, what I found is I got A is -1/2. And I got that B is 7/2. Because you know I do fractions, I don't do decimals. And then there, 0 was my, let's do that. Okay. And then it's 0. And so then what we're going to do, and we'll talk about this in class, is that point, we know where the top of the wall is, so will the ball go over the wall? And we can talk about that in class. So again, I found it works exactly like it did in the book. So I was like, this is so much easier than solving systems. So I just kind of stuck with this and went on. Okay, I'm going to turn this back, and so we're going to go one more page. And then this is actually doing the quadratic regression. So this is, yeah, answering the questions. And again, we can talk about that later in class. So this one, they want you to do the list. So it's a meteorologist predicted temperatures for a summer day in Denver, Colorado. Okay, and this is actually about right. There's no humidity or very little. What is a quadratic model for the data? Predict the high temperature for the day, and at what time does the high temperature occur? So the first thing you want to do is you want to put this in list 1 and list 2. What I will tell you, in order to do list 1, you have to use a 24-hour clock. If you don't, notice you have 6 twice and you have 9 twice. So if you don't know what a 24-hour clock is, that's okay. Anybody who grew up military or is into military time understands. So after you hit 12 noon, add 12 to each of these numbers. Okay? And so what you're going to do here is we are going to have, okay, so this is going to be 6, 9, 12. Add 12 to, whoops, went the wrong way. Oh, they're out of order. That's why. Okay, so 6, 9, 12, and then yeah, this one's going to stay 3. At 6 p.m., add 6 to 12, so that's 18. And add 9 to 12, and that should be 21. Okay, so that's going to be in list 1. These are going to be in list 2. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I'm making it at home. My daughter needed me. Okay, so then you want to circle the correct one that shows the one you're going to do. So these will be really easy notes. And then once you get it in, you're going to get those in. And notice this is what you're going to plug it in. And then it's going to give you the equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Casio. I'm going to exit here. And I'm going to go up. And I'm going to just type on top of it. So let's see. And I'm just putting them in the order that they appear in the table. Okay. So hang on. Okay. So I put in 6, sorry, and 9. And then I put in 12. And then I put in 3 p.m. Oh, that's why. That's another little typo. Gosh, they do more of these little typos on here. 3 p.m. So 12 plus 3, it's 15. Let's go back up and then execute. Okay, so 15, and then I should have 18. Delete, execute, and then 21. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to go over to the next one. And I'm going to have 63, 76, 86. And if you're on a TI, remember you just go over and you go through your stat menu and do the same thing. 85 and then 76. Okay, so I'm going to tell it to graph, which I can again. Now you might adjust it automatically. You might need to change it. And so once I got that, then I ask it to calculate. Again, if you're on a Casio, it's the x square. Okay. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Okay, and so those are the numbers that we should be getting, which matches up with what they got. So I'm going to tell it to copy, and I'm going to hit execute. The reason I tell it to copy because then if I want to use it later, I already have it in. Okay, and then tell it to draw, and there you go. So then you've actually got the equation. Okay, so then they want to know what is the maximum value. They want to find where is the highest temperature and at what time. So then I'm going to go to my graph. So this is where I go to menu. This is why on a Casio I tell it to copy. Okay, I need to select it. I always forget this because it doesn't select it. So tell it to select and then tell it to draw. So there you go. Okay, if you don't select it, it won't draw it. Okay, and then at that point I'm going to tell it to Shift G solve. It opens down, so I'm looking for my maximum. And notice it's 14.87. Okay, and it's 88.43. Okay, so I know that the highest temperature is 88.43 degrees. Okay, and what time is that? Subtract 12. So it's basically it's after 2:30, 2:45. So it's between 2:45 and 3. It's a little closer to probably 2:45, but I'll take 3 o'clock because you're looking at the number. If you get to another whole one, then it gets there. Okay, and guys, that's how this works. So I chose to do this one totally with the graphing calculator because I thought it was just so much easier. So, we did that. Okay, not going through, but that's okay. So we did all that. I told you what this is. You saw that. And so there's the temperature and at what time will it be there. Okay. And then this is just having you do another one. Wow. I don't know what is wrong with my mouse. I'm sitting at home and I have no idea why it's acting crazy. Okay. Alrighty. Maybe it's because I have this. Let's just do this. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's why. Okay, because I've got a lot of stuff plugged in. Okay, so they ask, write the equation comes up. And so if you go through this example, it'll be really easy to see why it doesn't work. Okay, so you need to be able to do a model and a quadratic model. And guys, that one's it. So I think this will be a really easy lesson and a really easy daily check. All right, so I'll see you on the next video.